And we're moving on now to Senator Eileen Flynn, please.
Thank you, Laska Herlock, and thank you, Minister Noonan, for taking the time out this afternoon to allow me to address the House this evening. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity for allowing me to be here today in this historical day, and I'd like to welcome my little girl, Billy, who's in the gallery. And you know, one of the ushers just said to me, coming in here, he said, "Eileen, remember, you're not in there for nothing." He said, "You're in there because you deserve to be in there." And I thought it was an absolutely lovely comment for me for when I came in. So I just want to start off about the report, which is most importantly than me having the time to speak here today. It's about the report. Thank you all for inviting me to address the House today, what I hope will be a life-changing report for many travellers. The final report of the Joint Committee on Key Issues Affecting the Traveller Community is the work of many. However, most importantly, the report was inspired and by contribution from travellers ourselves. The national and local traveller organisation and activists dedicated ourselves to many battles for the future for the traveller community to have more equality of opportunity in Irish society. I was elected chairperson of the Joint Committee on the 19th of November 2020. Deputy Eamon O'Keefe was elected Laska Herlock. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Deputy O'Keefe again for all of his hard work and determination working with us, the traveller community, over many years. The committee was built on the important work of the previous committee, chaired by former Senator Colette Callagher. The committee has 84 recommendations in 4 areas: health, including physical and mental health; education, particularly in second and third level education; employment and accommodation. If the recommendations in this report are implemented, which I believe must be implemented, the committee and all of us here in the Dáil and the Shannon would be part of a better future for travellers. That's something for us to be very proud of. Before I speak any further about the report, I would like to formally welcome to the gallery the Irish Network Against Racism organisation, the Irish Traveller Movement, ACIWA, and Pavy Point, the National Migrant Rights Centre of Ireland, the Muslim Sisters of Eire, Amel's Association, National Traveller Mental Health Network, Exchange House, and the National Traveller Women's Forum. I believe that civil society organisations play a key role in in society, and I think I thank them for their work and for being here today. And I'd also like to thank my husband Liam White and my friend Damien Pilo for being in the gallery today as well to support me giving this speech. As I said, the report includes 84 recommendations of 4 critical areas. The vast majority of the recommendations are not new, Minister. They just haven't been implemented. We're looking for inclusive education. We're looking for delivered health services, especially in relation to mental health, because we've all seen that authorities haven't provided appropriate traveller accommodations or oversight structures needed to be put in place and implemented to ensure safe and culturally appropriate accommodation for travellers and for families. We've been asking for these consistently. Over the years, there have been so many reports, as you've just said, Minister, that highlighted the challenges that travellers face in these areas, including the report of their Oireachtas. And we're still here today discussing the recommendations. It's key and it's so vital. I cannot say enough today in this speech how important implementation is. Deputy O'Keefe and myself said at the time of the launch of the report, again, if nothing will change unless we have implementation. Most importantly, a lack of action would mean the loss of hope for many travellers and for many generations to come. I almost hesitate to mention some of the recommendations because they are all very important. Still, some of them, some provide structure for change and will finally bring travellers services and support that we deserve as a community. We must establish a national traveller accommodation authority to oversee the development and implementation of traveller accommodation policy. The current system of local authorities provide accommodation for travellers too often has not worked for travellers. Time and time again we see local authorities underspend their allocation funding for the traveller community. Between 2008 and 2019, local authorities left more than €72 million in funding underspent. That's €72 million underspent on traveller accommodation. Yet the needs of traveller accommodation remain as serious as ever. Who will be held to account for families who are living in overcrowded accommodation, who are homeless, who are living in unsafe accommodation? The call for Traveller National Accommodation Authority has been made many times over the years. It was also made from the expert review of Traveller Accommodation Group in 2019, and the Minister did commit to it then. Now it is time to see it through. There must be a standalone, this is really important, Minister, for young travellers within the traveller community who every day are dying by suicide. So I think of all of this speech that this is the most important part that is really listened to here today in this House. There must be a standalone national traveller mental health strategy, but a ring-force budget, and there must be a clear timeline of implementation and delivery. We need a traveller mental health steering group in partnership with stakeholders and most importantly, travellers ourselves. The strategy developed and implemented. This is not a new recommendation. The government promised a national traveller mental health strategy in the programme of government. Only a standalone strategy will turn the tide on the traveller mental health crisis. I was delighted and proud last year to see the Traveller Culture and History Education Bill through the Dáil, thanks to my colleague Deputy Pringle and thanks to previous Senator Colette Callagher and my civil engagement colleagues for bringing it through the Shannon and through the Dáil. That bill is now in committee stage, and what we need is the implementation of that bill as soon as possible, but not only to be implemented, it needs to be mindful, represented by the traveller community, and it needs to be implemented within our Irish education system as soon as possible. The fourth important recommendation that I believe is to make sure we continue to forward the commitments and recommendations that the House of the Oireachtas established a standing committee to oversight the issues faced by travellers. This would include monitoring implementation and recommendations and the follow-up strategy of NITRAS, as well as looking at other areas that impact on travellers' lives. We cannot leave division of life structure and like basically what I'm saying, Minister, is that we can't just live in hope that things will get better for the traveller community unless we unless we implement the recommendations that's already there. When I was thinking about today, what I would say today, I thought of the great John Hume, who spoke gracefully of the vital importance for people to work together for a better future. I am a strong believer in solidarity and allies. I base my activism around it. When John Hume accepted the Nobel Peace Prize, he said, I want to see an Ireland of partnership where we wage war on want and poverty, where we reach out to marginalised and dispossessed, where we build together a future that can be as great as our dreams allow us. This is what we want as travellers. This is what we all want in Irish society. We cannot continue to deny opportunities to people within our communities, and we cannot deny opportunities to the traveller community, because that's been done for generations after generations. Now it is time that we all need to move forward. Yes, together. We have to let bygones be bygones, and we need to move forward together. All of us in both houses must take responsibility to ensure the recommendations become action. I would ask you now, in our community, say if you were, as I've often said many times, or people that would know me here on a personal level, that, you know, I come from a family of wheeling and dealing, if you want, you know, markets and stuff, and we'd always say, would you put your name to it? Like, would you buy it, or would you, you know, if you're going to do something, will you put your name to it? And my question to every single one of you today in this house is, will you put your name to it? Will you put your name to the recommendations, these 84 recommendations, and just even to the 4 that we've spoke about today, that I've spoke about today in this house? Because the work is not over, Minister. The work is just beginning. Let's build on that. It is as great as all of our dreams allow. We all have the answers. It's about implementation. And I just want to say, Minister, really fast before I take my seat, you know, we are and we do play an equal part of Irish society. You know, we have a parliament now that's 100 years, and now you have a member of the traveller community. We're moving towards a better Ireland for everybody, but it needs to be a more inclusive Ireland. And you know, the money is there, it's about implementing it, and it is really about changing people's life. So let's be the Dáil, the Shannon of a better change. Let's be part of that better change by making travellers' have a better future, because we, the traveller community ourselves, don't have the power. The government have the power, and for years after years, decades after decades, we've been failed as a community. It can no longer continue, and I hope, Minister, with all my heart, that it won't longer continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Flynn. Thank you very much, Senator Flynn. So we're moving over